Am I the asshole for speaking my truth? Update. In case anybody wants to know, you might be happy about this. I got a message from my dad telling me to be in a family Zoom call, to say everything I want and everybody will take turns. He said if I didn't attend he will pull out his funding from our business, so I had to go, but told him I will ask my fiancée to be in too. It was me, fiancé, parents, sister and her husband. The moment I connected I noticed my sister was pissed. I was the first to speak. I told them all my feelings and even brought up the fact they are treating my wedding differently and even what some commenters brought up about my parents leaving the businesses to my sister. I spoke about how hurtful it was they preferred her. They seem to talk to her about serious things and she gets so much and they all think she is great, etc. Nobody said anything or interrupted me, which is very common in serious family talks. Then they asked if my fiancé wanted to say anything and she bravely said she felt she was not part of the family and she always thought they thought of her as a daughter and she stands by me. Then it was my mom's turn and she told me she was sorry about my feelings, that they tried to do things I liked and that they love us both equally. She said it was sad I pretended everything was okay and they didn't know how deep it was, but she still thinks I need help. She then told my fiancé she loves her but my sister is her only daughter. Then it was my dad's turn. He said he is sorry I feel he doesn't like me, but he isn't sorry for loving his kid. He said I didn't mind the tickets, cars, or even living in a house rent-free and he is disappointed. He said everything they own will be divided 50-50 when they died and if I didn't want my sister to have anything to do with our business then I can buy him out. He said they will pay for my wedding no matter what because it's something they always wanted to do for their kids but are not happy with me. He also told my fiancée that she should be grateful and not greedy. By then I was upset with the lack of apologies and the attack of my fiancé, but I held it. Then my brother-in-law told me he didn't know how I feel about his family and he just assumed his nuclear family would come just like I was at his brother's wedding. He said no hard feelings over it. Then it was my sister. A thing about my sister is that when she is truly angry she doesn't swear or screams, she is just really cold, hard and to the neck. She said she could feel me distancing at around 10-11 when she visited from uni and I was not included in some conversations with my dad. She said she accepted being my guardian at 18 if my parents died, so she had to be brought up to speed on all matters and didn't want to stress me out. She said she could have been a better sister and she was sorry I grew so full or resentment, but that her career path had nothing to do with me. She reminded me I was offered to go abroad but I didn't want to. She reminded me that I have gone on holidays with her and let me know those holidays were paid by her or her husband, not my parents. News to me. She said she asked me about her in-laws coming because they need to plan the trip around my wedding. She said my fiancé and I were only 7 months together when she got married and that she didn't want my parents to have to pay for her trip. She said that the reason she doesn't want to get paid for consulting is because she thinks is not right, but that next time she will invoice me her actual hourly rate since I am so insulted by it. She said she went to the Netherlands, from Germany, because she was truly burned out and as pathetic I think is the same as taking a 10 hours plane. She said my grandma was the one that told her everything I said because my parents tried to protect me and that she was done with me for the moment until I get therapy. And the last thing she said was that she loves me but doesn't like me at all right now. This is obvious summary, but the way she said the things is something I have seen her do to people but never to me, and I almost cried, but she had no niceness in the eyes. My parents said they can get me therapy or I can find it myself and that if I don't try something to help myself the wedding is the last thing I will get from them. What made me feel worse is how my sister spoke to me. She has never talked to me like this even when we argued, so I know she is serious. I got my handed to me. Yes, I am jealous and the asshole. I am upset my fiancé is crying, but I think I need to evaluate what my next move is. Also, we are from LATAM. My sister is my dad's golden child and no matter how much I try to get him to see me as her equal it never works and I believe she takes advantage of it. Usually is not much of an issue, but this week some things happened which were the cherry on top. I'm hopefully getting married next year and she asked if she could invite her in-laws because they will come next time she comes over. I said okay only because my parents are paying, but I know she just wants to do it for the attention. So she will have at least 4 people from her political family there and for sure parade them around. Also, my parents are about to have a big anniversary in November, but they are postponing any celebration because my sister, who lives overseas, doesn't want to travel so long until things are even calmer. But last month she went on a holiday to a country next to hers. I was having lunch with them and my fiancé when they informed me they are moving their big celebration to next year and I couldn't handle it anymore. I said to my dad, "Of course you will postpone. We should all stop living until she is here." He said it was uncalled for and I was making a big deal about something that had nothing to do with me, and my mom said they will of course have something intimate and I was as important, but I don't believe it. I stood up and said to my dad, "I am so sorry, the love of your life is not around, but the most important woman in your life should be your wife, not your daughter." After that I left. The next day I felt bad and tried to call my mom, who refuses to speak with me and just sent me a text telling me I was bitter and was hurtful and need help. But they, and particularly my dad, hurt me with their desire of giving her such a prevalent role in their lives when she has lived abroad for like 10 years. My dad blocked me and my fiancé is worried they won't pay for the wedding anymore. My sister, trying to be the center of the universe as usual, tried calling me but I didn't reply. I gave it a few days but my parents haven't contacted me. My sister stopped trying to get in contact with me but she contacted my fiancé to check on me. I visited my grand today and she told me I need to apologize because my parents love us both, but we are different and so got different things, so I began to wonder if I was the asshole. I just want some days where I am the most important person to my parents and still believe that my sister's golden child status should be addressed and corrected, but maybe I was the asshole for the way I expressed it? Edit. I am 26M. My fiancé or fiancée is a woman. English is not my first language, sorry. I also want to clear out, I don't think my parents are bad people but just bad parents. Edit 2. This is long time coming. My sister, 33, and my dad have a little club. She is smart, reading since 4 and all that. Since she was very young my dad used to take her to visit his clients in a nearby city, and sometimes she would stay with one of his best friends who owned a bookstore, and she has a very large book collection that my parents refuse to throw away, even when I tell them to send them to the woman, Dad's best friend, or my sister. They talk almost daily and discuss economics, politics, etc. I am not interested on any of those, and yes, he tried to take me with him but I was always bored and did things like going to my games or getting a stadium tickets for our team, but I feel he likes her more. My mom on the other hand has ups and downs with my sister because they are very different. The last issue was my sister's weddings 5 years ago. Yes, she had two, one intimate where she lives and another in our country. And my mom wanted to have her dresses made from a special fabric and my sister put a budget limit on how much the dress was going to be and even wanted to wear the same dress for both things. They had an argument but in the end she had 2 dresses but with the budget. She didn't even let me bring my girlfriend, future wife, because she wanted it to be intimate, but there were like 50 people there. My mom told my fiancé she would be buying or making her dress singular. My mom and fiancé have a very good relationship, so I am sure my sister was involved somehow in convincing her of that. Sister has a PhD that my parents paid for and doesn't work in the family businesses at all. Only consults sometimes and pretends she doesn't want to be paid for it. My parents supported her until she got a job, and every time she graduated for the master's and the PhD we had to go to Europe to be there. I work in a family business, so I know they have to talk to me eventually even if they are angry. I could give more and more examples of their favoritism towards her. I also don't hate her, I just wish she would let me shine on my days. And yes, the wedding would be a gift, but if they were willing to pay for 2 and many dresses and honeymoon, then I deserve the same treatment. Yes, you are the asshole for the way you expressed your truth. If you lived abroad, your parents would probably postpone big events until you could be there, too. It's their anniversary, not yours, so getting jealous over when they schedule a big celebration is just weird. You are the asshole. Mostly the first 2 parts sounds like envy. Plus, traveling overseas versus adjacent country is a different beast depending on where you live. When I was a teen, crossing borders was a common occurrence with daily life for me. Then during a nice little get-together they make a little statement, then you get all pissy to the point they cut contact, which you complain about. The one person who might be able to help resolve this contacts you, and what do? Get petty and ignore them. To clarify, there is nothing in this post to suggest favoritism other than your claim. Nothing suggests your parents wouldn't act the same if you lived far away. What is your truth? Is it the truth or just what you think is true? Anyway, you are the asshole. You were annoyed and instead of handling it like an adult you lashed out and said something incredibly rude to your parents. Favoritism sucks so bad, especially with your parents. They should be treating you guys equal. However, you are the asshole also. That comment wasn't going to make the situation any better. Plus your immediate family has you blocked while being NC and you're worried about them paying for the wedding? You are the asshole. You sound like a child having a tantrum. You are the asshole. This doesn't show she is the golden child at all. I leave in Europe and while traveling to the country nearby. Overseas is way more risk and commitment. She is right to wait a bit longer. Plus, it wasn't to it call to make, it's your parents' party not yours. If they want all their children to be there it's their choices, suck it up and don't be a toddler. And if having her in-laws are bothering you, you were 100% to say no, while your parents' party isn't yours, your wedding was. You are the asshole. Apologize. You threw a tantrum. Of course they would want to wait for your sister. You're mad about nothing. Get over yourself. You are the asshole. You are full of jealousy and you see things that aren't there. Wanting your daughter to be in a big event is not playing favorites. You need to apologize to your parents and your sister who sounds like a good sister and doesn't deserve your attitude. Why do you have a hard time believing that she actually wants to check on you? You're her brother. You have some problems you need to check. Am I the asshole for wanting my girlfriend to take a pregnancy test? I, 26M, and my girlfriend, 25F, have been together for 6 years. I think she's pregnant. I keep encouraging her to take a test and she refuses. For the past month or so she's been saying that she doesn't feel good. She's been extremely tired, fatigued, complaining of back pain and headaches, feeling bloated, and overall just not feeling well. I asked if she thought she should call her doctor, not necessarily because I thought she was pregnant but just out of concern for her health in general. She said no and figured it was allergies or her period was supposed to start. Her period is very regular, I mean I can damn near track it. She said that she's always been this way and has rarely been more than a day or two off. So when she was supposed to start earlier this month and didn't, she seemed a bit concerned. When she was a week late I pointed out that she hadn't been feeling herself and maybe she should take a pregnancy test. She said there was no way she was pregnant and she was probably just re-regulating or something like that. I said taking a test wouldn't hurt just to be sure, but she wasn't having it so I dropped it. She has a lot of fears and phobias, one of them being emetophobia, which is the fear of vomit. It's something she's struggled with since she was a kid. Usually even someone around her saying they feel sick will send her into full-blown panic mode. Thursday night she was supposed to visit her grandmother, so when I came home after work I was surprised to see her laying on the couch. I said you're home early and she told me she didn't go. When I asked why she told me that while she was driving home she felt nauseous and decided to not go. I asked if she was okay and questioned the nausea. She told me it was nothing, probably something she ate. Being nauseous for any reason would normally cause her to freak out and now she's being so nonchalant about it. She again blew it off like it was nothing. I again mentioned taking a pregnancy test. She has all these symptoms, why not just take a test and find out? If she is, she is, if she's not, and then we can put our minds at ease. We went back and forth a little bit. Basically her argument is that she's not pregnant, there's no way she's pregnant, and she wishes that I would just drop it. She stormed off to bed, I slept in the guest room, and that was that. She has been giving me the cold shoulder since Thursday night. We're usually great about communication. This is probably the worst argument we've ever had and I don't know what to do. Do I apologize? I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, but maybe I should have just kept my mouth shut. I'm not trying to push her, I'm just worried. If she is pregnant then she has to get the proper care. If she's not then there's something else going on health-wise that she should get checked. Too long did not read. My girlfriend has common pregnancy symptoms. I kept mentioning taking a test, and she kept refusing. We argued about it and now she's giving me the cold shoulder. Am I the asshole? Edit. I hit the character limit when I submitted this and in my shortened version I guess I left some things out. But I need to clear this up. We've talked about kids before and, as far as I know, we both want them. It was a conversation we had before we even started dating, but that's a story for another time, haha. Everything was fine before this, we both seem to be on the same page in terms of our future. If she is pregnant she is not waiting until it's too late to do anything, thus trapping me in the relationship. I love her more than anything, I'm not leaving her whether she's pregnant or not. Nah. You just want to take care of her and make sure she isn't sick, at its core. Honestly, it sounds like she is pregnant, how you are describing, but that is probably terrifying to her. Taking the test would force her to face that fear head-on and it is something she will have to come to herself. Maybe reassuring her that you are there for her and will support her throughout if she is pregnant, or just addressing that you know it is scary for her would help ease her fears. She needs to feel secure and cared for in what is likely a very scary time, especially with how pregnancy out of wedlock is viewed for some families. Best of luck. Not the asshole. She's in denial and probably afraid of it being positive. You two had sex? There's a possibility of being pregnant. It's that simple. Not the asshole. Maybe she's scared of what it would mean if she was pregnant? Or if she wasn't. Sounds to me like she's terrified she is pregnant. She wants to continue living in denial. I don't think you're an asshole for wanting to know because it would affect your future as well, but you can't force her to take a test. NTA. Sticking her head in the sand won't make her not pregnant if she is. Not the asshole. To be fair, you're as entitled as her to know the answer. But it sounds kinda like she's terrified to find out. Defo not the asshole, but I think you might need to reassure her that you're there no matter what and that there's no wrong answer here. Be aware what you expect of yourself and what you expect of her before you have the conversation. Emetophobia can in turn end up in a fear of pregnancy, along with all of the responsibility it brings that you guys may not have talked about. Either way, GL, and I hope she feels better soon. Not the asshole. It's the first thing a doctor seeing a woman with her symptoms would rule out. Perhaps you could apologize for pushing and just tell her you're concerned because she's not feeling well and think she needs to go a doc, even if it's just an urgent care. The cheapest option of course is a pee-stick. But it doesn't sound like she's open to that. In a few weeks she won't be able to deny what her body is telling her if she is pregnant. In the meantime, you could always say if she's feeling run down she might benefit from a vitamin. Prenatal vitamins are important. Just don't buy a specifically pregnancy one for her. No assholes here. As others have said, it sounds like she's a bit fear-stricken that she could be pregnant. She may also have some other health issues that she's chosen not to tell you about yet and is waiting on test results etc. so as to not freak you out or worry you. In this instant, I think potentially moving your approach from "come on, take a test" to "I just want you to know I am here for you no matter what and it would not spell the end of our relationship or lives if you are pregnant," she might start feeling reassured about it. On the other end, maybe she knows and was hoping to surprise you and is hoping you'll stop giving chase on it. You simply don't know. Am I the asshole for not giving my sister my dress? Edit. I just got back from dropping her off at the airport. She asked once again this morning and I held my ground with a solid no. She did call me a bad sister, but I told her no means no and then we had to leave. The car ride I just blasted my music and we had light chats, but the dress was not mentioned again. Before we left I made sure the dress was in my hiding spot and locked my door. You do have to have a key to unlock it, and it's still here. Dropped her off no problem with an "I love you." 20F. I'm refusing to give my sister, 24F. My dress I bought a few days ago for her trip back to California. I bought this super cute dress off of a website about a week and a half ago and it showed up on Wednesday, August 18, 2021. I tried it on and loved it. I went to show my sister and she instantly asked if she could have it. I said no and she again asked because she wanted to wear it to her friend's engagement party out in California. I again said no. The dress was $200 and I bought it as a birthday gift for myself. This morning, August 21, 2021, she once again asked for the dress and even said she would buy it off of me, but I again said no. I really like the dress and I feel really trepidatious to give it to her at all. This is when she started yelling at me that I was a bitch and not a good sister because if it was her she would let me borrow her clothes. The reason I am saying no is because I have given her my stuff in the past when she has asked to borrow it and it has either never been returned, come back stained or torn, or it has lost. She has even sold my mother's 14 Kelvin's gold necklace that our great-grandmother gave our mom. Knowing her past on how she never returns things or always ruins them, I keep refusing. She is calling me the world's biggest bitch and saying that I am not a good sister because I won't give her something of mine. She is saying she has been working all week and that's why she couldn't buy anything for the party. I can see where she is coming from with this, but she has also known for over a month that she was going to be flying out to California, so she has had more than enough time for this. I understand where she's coming from. She needs something to wear to California and she just wants to borrow it, so I do know I seem like I'm being rude for not letting her. I dislike being in fights with her, but I do not want to give in on this matter because I genuinely like the dress and have not had the opportunity to even wear it yet. I love my sister, but I cannot give her my dress when historically she has always lost or ruined the clothes, especially since this one is so expensive. She is now even saying that she is not going to California because I won't give her my dress and is saying it is all my fault. Edit. She is leaving for California tomorrow morning, August 22. and my whole family is saying I am in the wrong for not letting her borrow the dress. It is really making me think that I am the asshole for just not letting her borrow it. So am I the asshole? Too long did not read. I, 20F, am not giving my sister, 24F, my $200 dress that I just got for her trip to California when she has historically ruined my clothes or lost them before, and she is now super mad at me and is saying she won't go to California because I am not giving her my dress. Not the asshole. Hide the dress now. Let a friend keep it until after she leaves, or it might, accidentally, end up in her luggage. NTA. Please hide your dress before she heads away. Not the asshole. Thinking face. She's entitled and narcissistic. Get a lock for your door. Ignore her outbursts. Call the police if you need to. In my state $200 is considered a felony. She continues because nobody puts a stop to it. Put a stop to it. Not the asshole, and that's a special level of entitlement she has there. Why on earth should she feel like it would be a given you'll give her your new clothes? Was she the golden child? Does nobody ever say no to her? Don't give in. Not the asshole. She is super entitled. Like super entitled, and has no rights whatsoever to it. Stand your ground. Also, if she really wants your dress and was planning to buy one, she can give you $200 as a compromise to order a new one if you don't need to wear it straight away, provided it's still on the site in your size. That way it's like she bought the same dress herself but expedited shipping at it, times not costs. Not the asshole. She sounds very entitled. Please hide the dress because I have a suspicion she will try to take it anyway. Who demands someone give them something that isn't theirs? Baffling. Not the asshole, and you should leave the dress with a friend or locked in the trunk of your car until she leaves. Not the asshole. Also, I would go no contact with your sister based on her abuse to you and your mother. Selling an heirloom necklace? Insane. The verbal abuse and history of recklessly borrowing your clothing is also terrible. If this is your first time standing up to her, stand your ground and don't be a doormat. She learned to act this way because others have given in to her ridiculous antics. Am I the asshole for not paying 50% of the rent? I moved in with my boyfriend 4 months ago and we agreed that I would pay half of the rent and utilities. I am not on the lease and the utilities are in my boyfriend's name. We have a 2-bedroom apartment. The second bedroom used as a combo home office, for me, and music studio, for him. Then 3 weeks ago his brother moved in. I came home from a weekend trip with my sister and found him there, no discussion beforehand. I was pissed. My boyfriend swore it was for a week at most until his brother moved in with a friend. So he spent a week on the living room couch. Well, to no one's surprise that didn't happen. The friend decided he didn't want the brother to move in. Given that the brother doesn't work, doesn't clean up after himself and is a general jerk. Even my boyfriend admits this about his brother. I can't say I blame the friend. My boyfriend says he can't kick his brother out when he has no place to go and begged me to give him a couple of months. I had started packing my things. I reluctantly agreed and boyfriend ends up moving my desk into the living room where I have no privacy while I work and his music stuff into a corner of the bedroom where we are basically tripping over it so his brother can have a bedroom. I told boyfriend he has 2 months to get his brother out or I would move out. It gets to the time of the month for me to send money to my boyfriend for bills. I send him 25% of the rent and 33% of the utilities instead of 50% for both. Boyfriend is upset, saying that is not what we agreed. I told him I also didn't agree to live with his brother, and I'm paying what I feel is fair given that. My thinking is that every apartment I have shared, you pay rent by bedroom and utilities by person. Boyfriend starts freaking out saying that he can't afford that and that I agreed to his brother staying. I told him that I agreed to not move out. I did not agree to financially support his brother. He told me that I can't just change our agreement and I pointed out that he had when he added a third person to the apartment. Boyfriend insists he doesn't have enough money to pay that much, he is short on money and his old roommate moving out is one of the big reasons I moved in. Boyfriend says that he will end up having to not pay something and that it will kill his credit which he has been working on rebuilding. He tells me that he is already short because he is having to spend more money on groceries with his brother there. I flatly refuse to pay for more groceries. I am refusing to budge. Boyfriend insists that I am trying to hurt him financially because I am angry with him and being petty. I am angry and I know that I can make bad decisions when I am mad. However, thinking about it, I don't think I should have to support his brother. Living with 2 other people should cost less than living with 1 other person. However, I am doubting my own judgment. Am I being petty out of anger? Am I the asshole for not paying 50% of the rent? And #X200B. Edit. This has come up many times. Why didn't I tell boyfriend ahead of time that I wasn't going to pay 50% as normal? The answer is that I never thought about money until I went to transfer him money for the monthly bills. That was the first time I realized that I would be financially supporting the brother if I kept paying 50%, and I decided I wasn't going to do it. Not the asshole. As you say, boyfriend changed the rules without asking you. And you are getting less use out of the apartment because you no longer have a home office in a separate room. You have no privacy in the living room when you are working. Your bedroom is cluttered with the music stuff. You have an extra person using the bathroom, taking showers, etc. In every way possible, your enjoyment of your living space has been reduced. Darling, move out now. No, you're not the asshole. Your boyfriend is forcing you to support his brother. Everywhere is hiring. This is immature BS. Seriously, get out. Not the asshole. He breached your agreement the moment he let his brother stay there without even consulting you. Why doesn't brother get a job? There are tons of places hiring and he can get his lazy butt out and find one. Absolutely not the asshole. ETA. You shouldn't pay half because you aren't getting half. You've been pushed out of your workspace and your bedroom is more crowded since your boyfriend gave up his music space. He's not your brother, so you have no obligation to him. If your boyfriend is so concerned about his credit, then tell him to get the cash from his brother. It doesn't sound like he's unable to work, rather he just sounds unwilling. He'll continue to mooch as long as his brother allows him to comfortably do so. Honestly, I'd move out simply because it's ridiculous that he thinks anything he's done up to this point is reasonable. Not the asshole. You are correct in that it should cost less to live with two people rather than one, everything else being equal. It sounds like your boyfriend knows what buttons to push and is trying to manipulate you. Not the asshole. Agreements can change according to a change in circumstances. You may have wanted to tell him first, but then he didn't discuss his brother moving in first. Maybe this inconvenience will get him working on finding other living arrangements for his brother. ID leave. He has no desire to get his bro out. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but I would have recommended speaking about changing your share of bills when the initial conversation happened with your partner. Regardless, you're not wrong in your mindset. You pay half the bills, you should get half of the say in what happens there.